as well with the recording. So as we discussed before, the Zoom meeting is going to be about how to launch your winning ad in YouTube. We're going to talk about targets. We're going to talk about how to get the best strategy to create a winning video, which is the main point of getting out there your winning ad. Okay, so I do have a few tips that I shared last time, but if, of course, we had some trouble with the recording and I lost the video for some reason in my computer, so I'm going to touch base on that as well. And then we're going to talk about targets after, and then we're going to do like a Q&A section in the end. So you guys can ask me, I don't know, if you have any questions, or even if you want to share your videos or anything, we can do that. And I also have another, I have a few examples of winning ads for you guys to see how and have an idea of what a winning video looks like, okay? So before we talk about, I'm actually going to share my screen and I'm going to share the same presentation that let me just admit somebody here. I'm going to share the same presentation I used last time, which is in the training side. It's in the one of the masterminds that talk about YouTube video ads. And yeah, it basically just to make sure that you guys understand the sequence or the order that we're supposed to follow, or basically the successful people in the community follow the same strategy to make a winning video. So I have tried. That's how I basically do my videos, and it works. Okay, it works really well. So let's share my screen. Okay, so can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. So another thing, since we only are 5 people without counting myself, you guys can, you mute yourself, ask anything. If you have to, like if you have any questions, don't feel shy. Feel free to interrupt. I do like to do some kind of like allowing people to, ask whatever they need. So everybody can, let's just admit another person, Erica. Welcome, Erica. Okay, so the strategy for a winning video ad. This is the presentation that Dexter and Hazel Luiso share in one of the masterminds. And I do love how they clearly kind of like talk about every single part in the video, okay? So the first thing that we have to keep in mind when we're launching or when we are creating our video ad, like for example, if you are not a person that are comfortable on camera, that, that once you launch your, open your camera and you feel, excited and you speak naturally, I would recommend you to use an application that I use, which is called Teleprompter. So if basically you can just upload your text, the text of whatever you want to say in your video, and then you can follow the order or the sequence there. Don't use that to read, just basically just to have an idea of what is the sentence or the idea that you want to talk about next. But that helped me really, really well. Because again, no, everyone feels, comfortable in the first time, especially if you are a shy person, that's okay. You will get better with practice. So that application, it really helped me. It's called Teleprompter, okay? Now, it's free, by the way. So the first thing that I do usually is write down whatever I want to say in my video. Why I do this? Because I do want to make sure that I follow an order, I follow a strategy, a sequence. So why this is important? Because you're trying to call to catch people's attention. And the first 3 to 5 seconds of your video are, in my opinion, the most important ones. You have to show genuinity. You have to show, you have to inspire. You have to show curiosity. So your audience can, like, hey, I just want to know what she's talking about, So the first thing that I do is just, again, I start writing down who I am, my background. So you're gonna be saying, for example, in my case, where I'm from, what I do for a living, what I have been basically dedicating my life in the past 2-3 years, whatever you want to feel, whatever you want to share that you believe that your audience will share the same why, or basically the same background. So after I do that, let me just keep on meeting people, okay? We're going to make sure that you write down your interests, your values, your core values, and your dreams. And then finally, your why and your pain points. This is going to help you realize and find your audience as well, because sometimes we get confused. We don't know, okay, I do my video, I share out there what I want to say, but what is going to be my audience? Who is going to be, what is going to be my target? So we have to really be clear who will be, or what kind of people will be the one that will relate or will relate or will feel basically feeling your shoes, if you know what I mean. Will relate with your story, with your why, with your background. So that is the audience that you want to put your video front. So what is the winning ad formula? Again, as I mentioned before in the other Zoom, is putting the right message in front of the right people. That's what we have to try to do, okay? Once you find that connection, you got your winning ad there, okay? So now, once you write down all these 3 aspects, that is going to help you find out your target audience. And at the same time, I will say the second topic that you are going to share in your winning video will be basically who you are, and then after your why, your pain points and struggles. So doing this exercise, you kind of like get there one really good important point, which is the audience again, and then second half of the part of your video, okay? Now, they mention again the winning ad formula, okay? So you have to consider your audience because of the reason that I just mentioned before. You need to find out your target, the perfect target for your audience, for your video. And then you have to let them experience pain and then pleasure. They put it like that, and I love it, because when we share our struggles, when we share our points, that's when people start feeling, hey, I just feel like her. I basically, we're on the same boat. For example, I'm a stay-at-home mom as well, and I do want to spend more time with my kids, but at the same time, I want to earn an income. So that when people are going to kind of like resonate with your why, okay? So first part of your video is the hook. What is the hook? The hook will be whatever you say in the, I would say 1 to 3 seconds of your video. That is going to create curiosity, it's going to pique interest, it's going to promise value. I'm just going to give you an example of a hook, for example. Something that I have been using in my videos. Most of my videos, I do it in my native language because I'm targeting most of the time people that speak Spanish. But if I were to do it in English, I would just say, hey, are you Hispanic that is trying to get ahead in life, or if trying to, earn an extra income, but you have been, for example, tried different businesses in the past, but nothing have worked so far? just stay with me a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes. I'm going to share with you an amazing opportunity that it has changed my life. This is just an example. It's something very common. You have to make your own. Again, I will say something really that makes a difference between a good ad and an average ad is when we actually take our time and kind of like speak from our heart. What do I mean by that? Speak based from really your experience, from your life, from really mentioning your why. Because when we do that, guys, we show, people can notice and see that we are sharing something special. That we are not lying, that we are not trying to sell anything, that we are not promoting anything, that we are just sharing something that it can potentially change your life. So that has been something that I have learned along the way. So again, the hook, create curiosity, pique their interest. When we do that, when we, for example, mention who you are, so people, in the first time, since the first moment that I listen to what you're saying, they're gonna say, hey, I do want to listen to what you have to share, because definitely maybe she had the same background like you. Maybe she's just, again, the same example as a stay-at-home mom. Maybe she's a mom and she's looking for the same thing like you can, that you're sharing. So the second part will be introducing yourself. Again, that's why I mentioned write down your background, who you are, and the most important points that you want to share. Why I mentioned the most important points? Because sometimes we try to share, or we try to introduce ourselves, but we don't really mention details that will pique people attention. For example, if in this part of the video you are trying, for example, you say that you have been working in the IT industry, just to mention something. If you decide to say that, it's because you're putting that ad in front of the IT, in front of people that works in that field. You know what I mean? There have to be congruency there. So whatever you mention in that introduction, it needs to be part of your target, to be clear. Okay. So for example, if you say, hey, I'm a nurse in the States, and I've been working really hard for the last 10 years of my life. So, but I have been trying to find different options because I do want to be able to travel. And I found this opportunity, and I know that it will help many other people. So that's why I'm sharing this with you. Stay with me for a couple of minutes, that I'm going to share something. So in that case, you have to target nurses. You know what I mean? Kind of like, you get the idea. So whatever you mention in that introduction, it have to be something that it needs to be related to your target, your audience. And whatever you mention in your hook, it has to be curiosity, it needs to be interest, and it has to promise value. You have to mention, when do we promise value? Is it when we say that you have been crazy working, for example, long hours, and you found something that it can potentially make your life better. This is just an example. You have to, make your own according to your to who you are, and to your why, and especially to the audience that you want to speak to. Okay. So far, any questions? Don't feel shy. I want you guys to, to interact. That's why these meetings are not for me to just be talking and talking and talking. It's basically to clarify things, to, see if there are any other questions, I don't know, that you guys have, that I can kind of like open myself and share more anything with you. No questions so far? Okay, so the third point will be the story, and here is where you're going to mention the pain points, okay? Your struggles. What made you try to find other options, basically? Again, let's keep going with the same example of a nurse. Let's just say that you have been working this field for such a long time, and you have been really missing so many milestones of your children. So that could be the reason and one of the pain points that you are sharing with your audience. So again, that is going to be relevant to people that have the same situation. Do not pick as a target someone that it won't be related to whatever you are saying in your video. Let's just make something clear here. For example, if you are talking about that you are a mom, that you have been working in the nurse field, and you put that ad in front of, for example, men's that works in construction, of course, that is not going to work 100%. You know what I mean? Because I would say 9 times out of 10, they're going to skip that ad. Okay, so they have to be, again, a congruency. Why I do repeat that so many times? Because that's what is going to work. That's what is going to make that ad to go, to increase the view rate of the ad, to get you leads at not a super high cost. So that's the third point. You're going to mention your struggles and your pain points. There have to be an emotional connection here, okay? So when we open ourselves, when we share what we have been going through, and when we are real, that's the most important part, being real, being genuine, that people can feel that we are not promoting something, that we are not trying to convince them to, to buy anything. That when they say, hey, I don't even want to listen anymore, I just want to find out whatever she's doing. So you're going to share the pains and struggle that you have been going through that make you find another option, okay? Then the fourth part, some people add the never again moment when they mention, for example, I was really, really in a point of my life where I was not getting any sleep, working all the time. So that is optional. Basically, I do like to keep my video ads between 2, 3, maybe 3.5 minutes, no longer than that. But if you, for example, you're shooting your video and you go a little bit longer than 3 minutes, and you really like how you talk that time, and you feel comfortable and speaking naturally, it's okay if you go a little bit longer than 3 minutes, okay? So then the fourth part or the fifth part of the video will be, in my opinion, what I do here is I share the value of the opportunity. I share what they can gain with having an online business, what the platform offers. For example, if you want to talk, I don't know, about the systems that, do most of the heavy lifting for us, you have to make sure that you give or you share perks about working online and about having an online business. So I'm not going to give you examples because I'm pretty sure that most of you know, guys, what I'm talking about. So the last part of your video will be the call to action. What I do suggest to my downline here, that something that I have been doing for a long time and it have worked, I mentioned to people that I will send them personally information. So when I say that, I ensure that people enter an email that they basically most of the time use, that they have access to. And I also make sure that they will kind of like wait for my response. They kind of like wait for the email with the information. So whenever they receive the email from the system, they will say, hey, it's true, she just messaged me back. Okay, so they pay attention to whatever the email say, which will be basically the link to join the webinar. So I've been doing that. I tested and it worked. So most of the time, or I don't know, not most of the time, but before I used to get, I don't know if that happened to you guys, emails like really weird emails when people just put whatever they want there, not even a valid email. They just want to have access to the video that you promise in the ad that they will have access to. So I just start saying that they will get information on my behalf, or I will personally send information, and I will give them free access to the live presentation or the live workshop that really that explains everything in details. So that's the call to action. And then I also mentioned that, you know, they have to click learn more and stuff like that. Some people add in the video kind of like arrows or something pointing to the learn more button. That's up to you. It works pretty well as well. So far, any questions? No questions so far. Okay, good. So that's kind of like the sequence of the winning video. That's something that I have been doing since I started in YouTube, and it really works for me and for so many people. So I'm going to share with you guys a winning video ad that it have been shared in the masterminds as well. So I just want you to have an idea of what I have been talking about right now. Let's just see. Okay. Okay, I believe this is the first ad for Dave and Roxanne.
Hi there, this is
Hi.
Dave and Roxanne.
Right now we're in San Diego, California, in La Jolla Beach.
Yes.
Let's show them the beach.
Okay.
Right there. There's the beach.
Now, if you guys notice something here, they are really, you know, supernatural. They are not like, hey, I found an opportunity that you have to really check it out. No, they are showing it out. They are trying to be, you know, regular, normal people. That really calls people attention. So you have to guys be clear on that.
Although we're from Calgary, Alberta, we're here with some friends, just having some amazing, relaxing.
Now, another point, when they mention where they're from, it's because they probably are going to put that ad in Calgary, Alberta. Okay, those are key points in here. You are speaking to your audience. Always think about that. Whatever you mention, it have to be intentional.
You know, if you're watching this, you're probably looking for a solution like us many, many months ago. You know, I'm a general manager.
And I work in finance.
You have pretty.
They are talking, they are introducing themselves now. They are mentioning what they have been doing in the past, and pretty much they're probably just going to jump after with their pain points and struggles. Okay.
But our dream was too big, and we noticed that the income we're making was just enough for us.
Yes.
And our dream is to retire your parents, right?
Yes. I moved here in 2004 with my parents, and I've seen them gave up their jobs, work so hard just to give us a better life. And our dream is just to help them in their retirement.
And there's really only two options. We realize number one is either we shrink our dreams to the size of our paycheck, or we find a solution and increase our paycheck and fulfill our dreams. And our hope is that that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a solution to fulfill your dreams, you know, and again, we were skeptical, but we clicked the link.
Yes. Yes.
Skeptical.
You know, I was skeptical at the beginning.
Now they added click learn more. That's something optional, as I said before. You guys can do that. In my case, I will go a little bit more specific. If I'm going again, if I'm sharing that they have been working the corporate world and stuff like that, I will then target people that work in that field. Okay. Always, again, keeping in mind that you are speaking to a specific audience and you want that audience to see and to watch that video. Okay. Putting the right message in front of the right people. Okay.
Hesitant if it's real or not, but you know, I finally, watched the workshop. It's a free.
When they mentioned, okay, I was skeptical, I wasn't sure if it was real or not. What do you guys feel they are doing there? Like maybe it wasn't intentional, but in my opinion, it's really clever as well. When you show that the person that is watching will probably feel that way, the same like you are kind of like how to say this, you are putting yourself as someone just like them, not a salesperson, not someone that is promoting anything. You are projecting that feeling of, okay, I'm sharing this amazing opportunity because I was looking for something that could potentially, help my parents. Okay.
Shop where they teach you, how to start your online business. And, that was a year ago. And since then, our life has changed financially.
Right.
We paid off over 86,000 debts, consumer debts. We were able to, travel like this without financial worries.
Yeah, and right now we're actually at a conference in our ministry, and we sponsored 2 youth to come here and fly with us. And for the last 3 months, almost 4 months now, the income we made on our online business is equal, and some months surpassed our combined
Yes.
full-time income. So if you're watching this and you're even remotely interested, we're looking for people that are coachable.
Fun to work with, God-fearing, ambitious,
Ambitious.
and hardworking.
And so click the link if you're watching this, because as soon as you click the link, you put your name and email, we're going to give you the information on the free workshop on how to start your very own online business. So thank you for watching.
Okay, so what do you guys think? No thoughts? Okay, I'm going to share with you another one, which is different. I have a different brand, I will say.
SEO. What if you could do it smarter and faster? With Wix, you get a site.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Irene Remley, and yes, I am one of those successful business women that work from home, but just please bear with me for a moment, because what I'm not going to be doing right now is spending thousands of pounds doing my hair and my makeup and looking good to impress you. Who needs? Well,
when you say that in front of a camera, do you find that funny? You find like, oh, that's no usual. We are not used to like hear something like that in an ad, right? So that's really clear. It's something different to what we have been talking, but she's probably going to target women's, okay? Because that's going to call women's attention for sure.
I'm not going to be walking you around the £1 million house. I'm not going to be walking you along a beach and coming to you live. I'm also not going to be spending thousands of pounds doing a professional video that's edited within an inch of its life to impress you, because I don't need to do that, okay? That's not what I want to do, because going back 7 years ago, that's not what I could relate to. Here's the deal, right? So let me take you back 7 years ago, when basically I was in a position where I'd had 2 young children. I was tired. I was very tired. I had a 14-month gap between them. My husband had a great job, and we were hoping that that was going to fund me being a stay-at-home mum, but he got made redundant, and we were just spiraling into debt. I had no sleep. I was just bleh. And I was seeing all these adverts come across Facebook of all these fantastic work from home businesses, and they look great, but I just couldn't relate to them. Here's why I couldn't relate to them: because I would see all these fantastic beaches and fantastic trips and all these amazing things, but that's not what I was looking for. Back 7 years ago, I was in a hole, I was in a rut, and I didn't really know what to do, and I didn't really want to do that. Now, all these things that you do see, they're true. People are achieving them. We have achieved them, okay? So that the house, the car, the free holidays, the yada, 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 that wasn't important to me. I don't want to impress you, okay? What I want to say to you is that, yes, there is another way. This is me on a normal day. I work from home. This is my hair. This is my makeup. More often than not, I'm in my scruff, sometimes my pajamas. I work from my phone and my laptop. I'm a real person over in the sink. I've got loads of dishes that need washing, and soon I'll be getting my kids and I'll be running around after them, making them tea, and picking up after them, because that's real life. And guess what? That's all I wanted. Okay. So all those other things that come were a bonus. They were amazing. We achieved those things, but back 7 years ago, I didn't want to achieve those things. What I wanted was financial security, freedom to do what I wanted when I wanted, to be able to spend time with my kids, my family, my friends, and people that I loved, and work from home. That was it. And that is exactly what we've done. So when I say I'm keeping it real, that sounds really cheesy, doesn't it? But I just, this is me, you know, when I looked at all these other posts and I questioned whether they were real, and yes, they are real, we've done it, but I couldn't relate to that, because actually 7 years ago, I just wanted to get out of a hole. I needed a way of working. But what I needed to hear more importantly was that somebody like me with no experience whatsoever could actually do and achieve those things. That was all I needed to know, and we did. So if you're in a situation right now, maybe you're in a hole like I was, or maybe you're looking for a change, or maybe you're fully aware that one of the massive ways forward right now is becoming the internet, then get in touch with me. Let's connect. I'd love to connect with people. Send me a message. Let's have a chat. I can get some information in front of you.
Now, if you guys notice something here, it's something that's really relevant in this ad is that she's definitely targeting women's that it's, you know, like they're kind of like trying to get whatever they are. I don't know if they feel stressed out because they don't have enough money to pay their bills, or if they are going crazy because they have so many kids and they cannot find a way out. That's her target right now. So here she is mentioning that you really don't need experience at all. She's pointing that in the past, she saw several ads, but most of the ads were showing perfect life, were showing, you know, like beaches, nice houses, and something that she never relate to that. So in my opinion, her target here is, you know, everyday women. She probably going her target by profession, targeting ladies that works in the corporate world, for example, or I don't know, people from a certain age, I will say, similar to her. So why I'm doing this kind of like clarification is because this is the most important part of your video, guys. Whatever you mention in your video needs to be connected to the target that you're going to assign in your ad, okay? So I believe that's clear, in my opinion. If you guys don't have any other question, now you have to make your own. Don't pick any of these ideas, because that's something that we all tend to do in the beginning when we're new, because we are not really sure what we want to say. The more genuine you are, the more you open yourself, the better the ad will work. Because again, this is attraction marketing. This is not, you are not selling something, you're not promoting something, you don't want people to buy anything from you. You want to attract people to with the same or similar situation that you have right now, or similar background that you have basically, but no going out there trying to, you know, be that salesperson that most people always skip those ads. Okay, you want that your audience connect with you. That's basically the best message. You want to connect with your audience. That's the best way to mention that. Okay, so then the next point of the power hour about YouTube will be targets. Right now, let me just stop sharing. So right now, before, YouTube had the option of targeting based on placements, which we had in the training before, that you can select, you know, different placement and links related to channels or related to videos and stuff like that. They got rid of that. They don't have the option to target by keywords anymore. They don't have the option to target by placements or topics. I think is gone as well. So right now we only have the option of using audiences and demographics. And then they also encourage you to check mark the option of optimized targeting. Okay. So I want to make sure that you guys understand how this optimized targeting option works. So once you set your ad, I'm gonna have to share my screen again to show you guys what I'm saying. So let's just say that you're going to create a new ad, okay? You're going to create a new campaign. So you're going by leads, or if it's your first ad, you go create a campaign without gold guidance. Let's just assume that this is your second campaign. You go by leads, you hit continue, you go by video, continue. So right now, then if maximize conversion, let's just enter here $10. You pick the location. Then you have the option to exclude some places as well. Then you have the option to include your language. For example, right now, as per targeting, we can target based on our native language. If you are a person that speaks 2 languages or more, that's an option. You can target based on demographics only, basically, where you select the gender, the age, and the household income if they are parents or no parents. And then we can also use the option of audiences, where you have the opportunity to pick by profession, by interest, or purchase intentions as well. So here, basically, you can create a new audience. You enter the name of the audience, and you enter the detailed demographics again. For example, do you have the option here, the in-market audience? If most of the time, as it mentioned here in the, just want to show you guys. Wait. For example, this is an in-market if people actively interested in that particular topic, okay? So this is something that you guys have to be clear. It's not coming here and selecting anything, the first 3 options that you see there. No, try to be mindful and read through, and whenever you see in-market is interest that people are specifically, for example, let's just say if I select education, it's because people are into watching videos about education, about, I don't know, courses and stuff like that, okay? For example, if you go down there, it says test preparation, tutoring, study, abroad programs, and stuff like that, okay? So always read through and see if the audiences that you are trying to select, it could be related to your video or to the audience that specifically you want to reach, okay? So if you mention, let's just keep going with the nurse example. No, that's not the nurse that we want. Okay, if you mention in your video that you are a nurse that have been working in this field for years, then I will recommend you that you select this option. For example, this is just an idea, okay, for you guys to understand what I said, what I mean. So why I will pick this option? Because you are picking here health and medical jobs, for example. So this is something that people are interested in finding jobs that probably if somebody's searching for a health or a nursing job or something like that, it will fall in this category. Okay, so that's something that you guys can definitely use, okay? Health industry. So if you see here, you can also select this one, for example, because will be people that are working in the health industry, okay? So again, if you go by stay-at-home moms, then you're gonna have to probably find something related to that particular audience. It could be, I don't know, children products or whatever you think that a stay-at-home mom could be interested on. It could be recipes. It could be, I don't know. There are thousands of ideas, basically, guys. So affinity audience, if they usually are a little expensive than the in-market audience, based on my experience, since I have been testing both, and always affinity give me probably better quality leads, but they are a little bit more expensive, okay? So they will be people based on their how, basically that search for this particular topic, that are interested in this particular topic, but not in the same way like the in-market. In-market, I will say, is a little bit more broad, and then affinity is more about the person in particular. Okay, let's see if I can find another example here to explain you. People with professional and office jobs. Exactly. Basically, affinity talks more about I would say the characteristics of a person, their profession, and who they are, basically, okay? And then in market, it's more about what they are interested on, what they search online and stuff like that, okay? So it's important that we're clear on this, on the difference, these two, okay? Now, that's an option that we have for targeting. The other option that we have, again, we talk about the audience, interest, detailed demographics, and then the other option will be custom segments. This is something that is not on the training, but I have been doing some tests in the past month, and it have worked for me because I've been trying to look for a way where I could, for example, keep using keywords. And since they removed that targeting option, I went out of my comfort zone, I would say, and took some courses and stuff like that. So I find out that YouTube is now allowing you to create your own audiences and then enter keywords, specific keywords, and then you can select and create your audience based on the keyword that you enter, but you can specify if you want them to be based on interest and purchase intentions that people have, or based on the search terms that they look online, okay? So there are two ways that you can do this. Let's just say you're going to create a new segment. Do you put the name here, test, and then it will give you these two options: people with any of these interests or purchase intentions, or people who search for any of these terms online. And then you enter here the keywords that would be related to your audience, okay? The keywords that will be related to whatever you mentioned on the video that you are putting together. Or if you want to go by interest or purchase intentions, then you have to include here keywords that, for example, if you're targeting, again, nurses, let's just keep going with the same example. Nurses, probably a nurse, when she's tired, she's, I don't know, researching, she watch, I don't know, you have to brainstorm basically ideas of the specific keyword that you want to add in here, because again, it has to be kind of like connected to your audience and to the video that you're putting together, okay? So if you are, just to give you a specific example here, let's just keep going with the stay-at-home mom, which is the easiest one. You are trying to reach stay-at-home moms, and I will include, I don't know, breakfast recipe, just an example. I will include children products, baby clothes, for example. Stuff that your audience will will be interested on or will be searching online. So if you want to go more specific, go by search terms. This second option. If you want to go, or if you want to have an audience that will be more broad, then select the first option. In my case, I always try to go for the first one because I want to have my ads running for a while. But then you do that, guys, when you already have tested a video and you know that the video works. But if you want to, for example, if you're testing a video and you want to find results right away and you want to know if the video and the target combination that you put together works, I would then go specifically by keywords and then selecting the search option. But in my opinion, both work, I will say, similar to the keyword targets that we have before. Now, this is something that I'm pretty sure our people that in the training that take care of the training side will probably add in this training very soon. Now, if not in the training, I have tested, you guys have to, go through a learning or a testing process as well, but it have worked for me. So I just sharing with you what it have showed results in my ads. Okay, anybody have any questions about this? This is pretty simple. Then you just you enter the keywords around, I don't know, close to 50, I will say. Then you click save down here and it will save automatically. And then you click save. Again, you can combine this option, for example, the custom segments with the demographics or interest, and you can combine it with the just give me 1 second, guys. You can combine it with any of these demographics or intellect and detailed targeting. So you have to keep in mind, guys, that if you add the 3 options, custom segments, demographics, and interest and detailed targeting, your audience will narrow. Okay, so this is, I'm just mentioning this because I know that Ikra was asking this question the other day in the chat troll. She was saying, okay, I have an audience and the audience is only, it was popping up a message saying that your ad won't get many weekly impressions or something like that. Once she had, I think it was, she selected some audiences. So if you are targeting by language, for example, and you did your research and in Google showed that the location that you want to target, that is only, for example, 20,000 people that speak Hindi, this is just a randomly example, then you have to keep in mind that you cannot add many options of detailed targeting or a custom segment because that will narrow your audience. Again, what you're saying there is that from the 20,000 people that speak that language, you specifically want those that search for that particular term, or you specifically want those that work in this certain field, okay? So you are using audience and custom segments when you have a huge audience that you can actually select people from that huge audience and it still will give you a big audience to work or to show your ad to, okay? So we have to kind of like work around that because I know that most people want to go with by the language targeting option, but sometimes, especially if the number of people that speak that specific language in that location is not a big number, maybe it's not the best strategy to go. Or maybe you can add over different countries, okay? I don't know if anybody have any questions regarding that topic, regarding targets. Yeah, go ahead.
I got a question
Want to
here.
ask, just unmute yourself, yeah.
So if you're just starting to do advertising on YouTube, if you started with no goal campaign, how long should you be leaving that? Or should you start another ad, or should you just do one and then wait for a little bit? Like, how does it work?
Yeah, basically the reason why we have to do a no-goal campaign is because you are creating a new account in YouTube. Okay, so your account has no data at all. YouTube doesn't know who are the people that will basically resonate with your business, that will be interested in whatever you have to offer. Okay, so that's why we have to run that particular campaign in the beginning. You can run it for, I think in the training is suggested to leave it for like a week or probably 10 days, no more than 10 days. I'm 100% sure. But I will leave it up to, after the learning phase is over, maybe a couple more days. Because it doesn't mean that the no-goal campaign, it won't give you leads. It will, but it might take a little bit longer because, again, it's your first campaign. The algorithm is kind of like learning who will be interacting with your ad, who will react or engage with the ad. So in my case, I run it for like 10 days, I believe. And then I shut it down and I create a new one, selecting maximize conversion. And then once you have a new campaign, you have to let the learning process finish. Do not touch the campaign. Once the learning phase is over, then you can do some tweaks and optimize. For example, if you optimize today, let's just wait maybe 48 to 72 hours for the next tweak. If you feel that it's convenient for you to select different audiences and test around different videos and stuff like that. So yeah, it basically that's the reason. So if this is your first campaign, then let it run for like a week or 8 days or around that.
Okay. So
Are
and
you
then
getting
stop this
results?
one? I've been getting clicks and stuff like that, but it says 0 conversions. So I'm not sure. I think I'm supposed to do a pixel for the YouTube
No,
as well.
you don't have to do a pixel. You have to set your conversion. I forgot the name, but
Google tags and even snippets.
yeah. But before you get to a stage of creating your first campaign, they will teach you in the training what you really need in order to run that campaign. Okay, so it's normal that you only get kind of like clicks. Then you get some, views and stuff like that. Not really conversion, because again, the algorithm is learning who is engaging with that campaign. Okay, but eventually it will get better. It's the same when let's just forget about the no-goal campaign. When you launch a regular campaign, a maximize conversion campaign, the first 3 days or the first 72 hours, maybe, I would say 48 hours, if I just say that, it will probably won't give you lots of results, or you might get a lead or two, but it's not the best, not at the best cost, right? And because of that, because the algorithm is learning, okay? So it doesn't mean that the first couple days won't give you, for example, the answer that you need in order to keep the ad or not. Some people just go by, okay, if I don't get a lead in the next 42 hours, I will shut the ad. In my case, I let the algorithm work. And that's what it has worked for me. I just leave it up to them. Once they finish the learning phase, then I do some tweaks if it's necessary, or I would just, if I've been getting leads, then I just let the ad run for a while, and I have been seeing the lead cost dropping, and it's been better. It gets better with time.
Okay, so the YouTube ad is not the same as the Facebook ad, right? So you can change it up and stuff like that? Because Facebook, they said do not touch. Once you start running, do not touch it and let it be the way it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in YouTube, I'm not sure. Like, I've heard a couple of things. They said you can touch it, like the budget, you can increase, decrease.
You can,
I don't know. Can you also change the location too, or no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can. You
Okay.
basically can what we call tweak the ad or optimize the ad.
Mm-hmm.
And then based on the result that you have been getting, for example, you will be able to see the audience if you get better views from women than from men. If you're targeting both genders, you will be able to charge one of the genders, and then the algorithm will focus the views more in the women, for example. So that's part of the optimization, and yeah, the algorithm just picks up everything again, and it works. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's the best cost per lead for YouTube?
It depends. It depends on what you feel more comfortable. In my case, I'm okay paying $6, $5. For some
Okay.
people, I never suggest, like sticking to an ad that it give you leads for $2 or $3. Those are no quality leads.
Mhm.
So I will say anything above 5, it's okay. And then if you're comfortable paying $10 per lead, it's up to you. It will be more about what you're okay paying, basically. But of course, in my opinion, 5 to 6, it's a good cost.
Okay. Thank you
Mhm.
so much for all your answer.
No problem.
Thanks.
Hey, Lizandra, this is Urvashi.
Yeah.
In my YouTube, now I have been running my ads since last August 2022, and I have like almost 15 campaigns. I have just paused them whenever I didn't want them. So what do you suggest? Like, can we, if we want to clean up, can we do that? Like, completely remove
I
the
don't think it would
campaigns?
be, that it will be any problem if you delete them. But let me just mention something. We create a new campaign when you want to test something completely different targeting, different settings. Otherwise, you can stick to the same campaign and make tweaks, okay? So why I'm saying this, because since I opened my account, I probably have only created, I don't know, 10 ads, and I have been doing G2 for a while. So when I don't see an ad that is performing well, you can basically change everything and it will work as a new ad, in my opinion. But you can clean whatever you want. Yeah.
Okay. So we can remove whichever we completely don't want to use.
Sorry?
We can delete the campaigns, right?
Yeah, you can delete the campaign. The
Instead
one
of-
that are paused that you are not using, you can delete them. Yeah. I don't think there will be any issue with that. Yeah.
Okay.
So far what you're testing, share with me what you're testing.
Actually, I'm always getting that youtube.com site. I don't know why.
I know you said that yesterday. Like, honestly, that's the first time that I heard that.
No, I think many people are facing that issue. The impressions are going to youtube.com site. And
What do they say about that?
can I share the screen? I can
Yeah.
show you. Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Mm. Mm. So as campaigns loading actually. Okay. Let's trying some keywords.
Okay.
Yeah, that I was using keyword planner, but it was showing like only 1200, 1500 like that searches. And you
Search
mentioned,
volume, because you
yeah.
have to find that what we mentioned in the word time. Let me just explain this so everyone have an idea what we're talking about. So last time I mentioned that when I create the custom segments, which I enter the keywords that I mentioned, where you can select the search terms or the interest or purchase intentions. Then before I create my list of keywords, I go to the keyword planner and I enter every single keyword that I want to use. And I make sure that the keyword that I pick to add in my custom segment, it has over 300,000, 500,000 in search volume. What you're doing there, you are making sure that your ad is popping more. Basically, you're getting more impressions because you're using a word or an interest, whatever you're choosing, that is popular, okay, that many people search online. So you are kind of like helping your the target basically, or the algorithm, to keep showing your ad more and more. So I do not recommend people to pick keywords that have, for example, 5,400 search volume here. So the key is to use, guys, words that are common. So immigration, this is the example that you pick. Do you think that's a common topic?
No, I mean, my ad talks about immigration.
Okay, okay,
Migrants.
that's a good point. Yeah, I would probably pick the same, but then once I enter to the keyword planner and I see that immigration is it doesn't have
Yeah.
high search value, I would just forget about immigration. So
Yeah.
what else are you talking your ad about?
I'm talking about new home.
New
I'm talking
home,
about-
okay. Who are you speaking to? Who is your
Uh,
audience?
I'm IT professional, so
Okay,
I'm talking to migrants who
Okay.
who move to US, Canada, these countries.
okay. So
And
okay, we not only have to make our keyword list based on what we specifically mention in the video. Okay, so what I mentioned is there have to be a connection, but it doesn't mean specifically that whatever you mention, you have to find the keywords related to that. Okay, so what I'm saying is, for example, if you talk about that you are an immigrant, that you are an IT professional, then think about and brainstorm ideas of the immigrants like you specifically search online. Recipes about Indian food, for example.
yeah,
Don't
so-
mention, you don't mention that in your video, but
Yeah.
that is related to your audience, okay? Let's just give you another example. You have a daughter. If you mention that you have a daughter, maybe
Yeah, she is there in the video.
okay, good. Something that moms like you that are from India will search online, will search in YouTube, for example.
Maybe I'll search some online tuitions for her.
Oh, exactly. An Indian TV show, for example. What do you watch on because the point here, guys, is that we're targeting ourselves. That's another thing, another way around to go. We are targeting ourselves, okay? Because again, this is attraction marketing. And since we are speaking to an audience that will relate to whatever we're saying, we're sharing,
So
basically the person will watch the same thing that you watch, kind of.
yeah, so like we watch TV shows, or for example, even Indian cooking, if I take that,
No.
the average monthly searches is
Now, let me just ask you something. Are you going to put this ad in Canada?
yes.
Okay. Because then you have to, it will pop up results for Canada specifically. So you have to select the location here in the keyword planner. Then in that case,
But
now the other point here, are you targeting based on your language?
yes.
Then in that case, this is what I will suggest you. Pick words. Since you're targeting based on your language, you are telling the algorithm, okay, show this ad only to people that understand or speak this language. Okay, that's what they're going to do. Now, once you are adding the custom segments, you can add there basically any keywords, any that has a really high volume, search volume, because you are putting that condition first. So if you were not to pick the language, your native language, then you really have to go more specifically to keywords that are really related to your audience, to that specific audience that is immigrant, that are Indian, that are mom, exactly, you know? But since you're putting that condition that you're only showing this ad to people that speak Hindi, you don't really have to go so deep in keywords. Do you want to make sure that your ad pop on every time that anybody that speaks that language search something online, anything?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So do I need custom segments or?
You do, but let's just say, let's type here breakfast, or let's search, you can add here 10. Let's search let me just try to find. Do you know, when I create the list of my keywords,
Mhm.
before I launch my ad, I probably spend, I don't know, a few days on social media, or I search in YouTube, I go out and I do recipes,
Yeah.
add recipes there. Recipe for dinner, for example. And then I will just get ideas from, Instagram or YouTube or all those
Like this you're saying, right? More
platforms.
than 300.
So dinner, it will be something that I would pick, for example. And then you have options up here, there, where you say dinner, recipe, cooking, food, that you can test basically those one as well and see if they are okay. Now, the other question that I'm going to ask you, Urvashi, how many people in Canada speak that language? So
Yeah,
breakfast,
that was my last time's question. I told you, right? I forgot to what I had in my mind. I was about to ask you. So how do you search online? Because I just go in Google. I will just type Hindi speaking population in USA,
yeah,
or
yeah,
I just get this. So
yeah.
8.74 lakhs means it's million. You
Yeah,
can
it
say
basically is
8 million.
it's it's not an awkward number. I would say not an a specific exact number. It would be an approximation, just for you to have an idea. So in the States, now in Canada, there is not even a million, or it says over 800,000. So again, in this case, I would not complicate my life adding keywords or segments.
Yeah, only by
This is
language.
why you will use the custom segment idea, because you want to reach an audience, you want to narrow an audience specifically by what they search. Maybe you want to attract people that are interested in businesses, or maybe you want to really get to that specific audience. But since you have a small audience and you are targeting by language, by, I will say, 9 times out of 10, most of the people from India that live in Canada, they have to speak English, I will say. Otherwise, you won't have a job, or life, it will be hard for you. So in my case, I would just select your language and maybe demographics. I don't think it's necessary that you add custom segments. What was your idea? Why you were adding the custom segment?
Because my as I told you, all impressions are going to that youtube.com site when I'm adding audiences. Because so far I was trying testing my ads, my campaigns with audience. So I was selecting different audiences from different segments. So if I
So you were trying to test a different strategy to see if the impressions don't go to the site anymore, to the YouTube site, right? That's what you mean.
So here I have paused so many.
So have you searched why that is happening?
Yeah, it's not there on like Google. I'm searching, but that's nothing.
And have you talked to somebody else that it happened to them? What do they say?
Even our flop group also, I talked. I asked people, but Anna, Tammy, they're saying that there is no solution for that right now. And when that happens, we just have to pause that ad, pause that campaign, and start over.
Okay, so how many times have you paused and start over?
All these
All the
campaigns.
campaigns. So
Yes.
with every single campaign have happened the same thing?
Yeah, I'll show you one. Just a second.
That's so weird. Like honestly, I don't even search where my ad shows. I don't even pay attention to that. Maybe I have the same problem, but since I have been getting a lead cost that I'm okay with, I don't really care if most of the impressions are going somewhere else. So maybe just keep going with the same campaign. And if you see that you're getting leads at a good cost, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Have you tried that?
Yeah, see how it is showing this
Yeah,
youtube.com site.
Because
and
maybe that
everything.
this is what I'm thinking. Maybe that's just a data problem. Maybe YouTube doesn't really specify in which video they show your ad, and they just say youtube.com and you fall in that specific category. Okay, so don't make a huge problem about that. Have you getting leads in that? No conversions. And the other thing is, if you see, it only costs you $2.92. Okay, so I wouldn't even pay attention to that. Like, don't worry about that. Honestly, keep running your ads, and as long as you get leads at a good cost and impressions, don't worry. Because in my opinion, that's something that is more about the way that YouTube is tracking where your ad is showing. Okay, maybe they don't have the link or the specific link to show that your ad was showing that in a specific site, and it falls in that category of youtube.com. Okay, I think that's what is happening.
Yeah, so I'll go back to my previous campaign and I will again check. If I feel that it's going well, then I will just unpause that and optimize that.
If I was you, I wouldn't worry about that, honestly.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so we are over the hour, 15 minutes over. I don't know if you guys have any other question. We can go quick and answer any other. You guys are good?
Alexandra, I have a question related to Urvashi's question. In my case, I already picked my language for the and the impression went down when I select my language, and then I selected the Urvashi's language, Hindi, and Tamil. The impression goes 1,000 and 110K. So my question is, in my case, should I pick only language and demographics, or can I pick the keywords or all that stuff?
Again, you pick the keywords when you want from a specific audience, you want to connect, or you want your ad to be showing to people that specifically search for the term that is convenient for you to include in your target. For example, maybe, or the other reason is because you have a huge audience and you want to make sure that from that audience you pick selective people, or you show your ad to a specific people. Okay, but in your case, if you have a small audience, it's the same thing like Urvashi. If you're targeting by language, and your audience is not even over the million, I wouldn't add any other condition. What I mean by condition is that every time that you add a different way to target, you are putting a condition to YouTube there, and then you're narrowing your audience. So I would just select the age range. How many people there are in your audience?
In US,
No,
1,026. Yeah, 600,029. They're like something.
It's a really, really small audience.
9,000.
Very tiny.
Yeah.
And that counting children, probably. That counting men's. Are you okay working with men's? That's counting everybody.
Mm.
So if you're even narrowing that to only women, it probably really, really tiny. So maybe try, as I say, add another country, add a different country.
Okay.
In YouTube, I don't think there is a problem when you add, for example, Canada and the States. Some people have said that they have
I
tested,
targeted.
and always the campaign goes, and it show more to a specific country, but I will say that more about how the algorithm find that your ad will be working better. But yeah, you have to increase the audience, definitely. 600,000 is too small. And in
Yeah.
that case, do
And,
not focus on segments.
Okay. And I selected Canada and you campaign. So
So
next
both-
time,
The combination, what is the number that it shows?
About 300,000, like in I
No,
in
I
US
remember.
6,29,000. In Canada 300,000.
300? So you are getting to
300,000.
almost a million, probably a million. It's still small, but you can test with a million audience, I would say, and see how that goes.
Okay, thank you.
Still small, but
Yeah.
maybe just don't use the language. Like let's just do something. Test and see how the app goes. See if you have, if you get leads and if you get clicks and stuff like that. And then depending on the results, then you're gonna have to, launch an ad in English and then go specifically then with custom segments related to your audience that you want to target. If you want to target, for example, people from your country, let's just give you a random example here, then you will add in those custom segments specific things that only people from your country will watch, that they will be interested on, basically. That's another option, okay?
So
there's several ways that
Okay.
we can try, guys.
So in my next campaign, can I choose my language, or should I make video in English?
If I was you, I would just test this one with your language, targeting your language only,
Okay.
Canada and the States, and see how that goes.
Okay.
Because the audience, even combining both countries, is not big. I would say it's okay. So let's see how it goes. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you get a winning out there. The thing is that any strategy that we have, guys, we have to test it, because there's not something really specific that we can say, hey, do this because that's gonna work. You're gonna get lots of buyers and leads doing this. Like, it works different for everyone. Okay, so the only way to find that out, it's testing. You're
Thank
welcome,
you.
Tommy. Okay, so we're gonna leave it. It's 4:20. I think it went well, the Zoom. Next time we are going to, I want you guys to share your videos. I want to do something different every time. So if you guys want, launch your video, put your video together, and then next Wednesday, because usually these Zooms are on Wednesdays, but I have to change it. Then you guys share your video and I will give you my opinion, and we can all discuss here and help each other how to get that winning video out. Or you can bring other ideas of different target situations and different audiences, and we can, discuss, and we can answer questions and stuff like that. Okay, so bye-bye.
Okay.
See you next week.
Thanks everyone. Thanks, Lizandra.
Bye.
Bye.